So, what's going on, everybody? The Iceman here on the Iceman's Return YouTube channel, the Iceman Wrestling Network. I like to call it with the two channels. Um, anyhow, been reading a little bit of information. Brock Lesnar is supposed to be appearing sooner than we thought this year. We all thought he was going to appear probably just prior to SummerSlam on Raw, but it looks to be that he will be around prior to Battleground, and supposedly he's going to be on the Battleground pay-per-view, which indeed would be a big boost for that pay-per-view. That's a pay-per-view that really doesn't have a lot of luster to it, so to speak. Um, and I guess with the presence of Brock Lesnar, it should help as well. Kevin Owens is going to be doing a number of WWE house shows. He wants to appear at Money in the Bank. Word is he's going to be around right through the summer. So this could change a lot of things at Elimination Chamber. If Owens is going to be around quite a bit on the WWE main roster, and jockeying back and forth. He's going to be doing a lot of work because he'll be doing NXT, he'll be doing house shows, and if he, comes back for Raw and for the pay-per-views, he's going to be quite the busy person. But in his mind, it's all worth it. He's been around for 15 years, and he finally got the opportunity to, make it big, so to speak. And I guess a lot of people say if you don't make it to the WWE, you never made it big. I don't agree with that. Um, but I will say that with the WWE being the major promotion of all the promotions in the world of professional wrestling, I guess one could look at it that way. So this could be interesting for the match with John Cena at Elimination Chamber. I originally put in my predictions that I think it's going to be a no DQ. I mean, it will be a disqualification match, I should say. Whereas they're both going to beat the hell out of each other. Um, but with the title not on the line, and if Owens is going to be around, the WWE might very well have Kevin Owens go over on Cena. It's hard to really predict what the WWE might do because, on one hand, you say to yourself, they're not going to have Cena look bad for the third straight time against Kevin Owens. But then again, it is the WWE, and it could be best for business. John doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. I think if Kevin Owens wins, they will have another match, and it probably would be for the United States belt. And then we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. Kevin Owens may get the win over John in a non-title match, but the fourth time going, I would think that John would get over on Kevin Owens. So, there's a lot to think about with this. I like the fact that Kevin Owens is coming up to the main roster. We already had Neville. I just find it boring to the point of, as far as the WWE World Title goes, it's not so much that Rollins has the belt. It's just that, it's either Ambrose, Reigns, or Orton, and it just seems like they're focusing on those three guys. And I think someone that should be added into this mix should be the likes of Dolph Ziggler. The guy is just stagnant where he is, and he's been a world champion before, and he didn't have a long reign. And I think he deserves to get back into the picture again to make this thing a lot more exciting. Unfortunately, the WWE is focusing on the Shield members right now, and they can't just really put all their cards in one place and just focus on these three guys, because you need to develop other people. And this is what the difference of the WWE now is compared to what it was in the past. You had so many stars. They were pushing everybody back then, although they had a bigger roster. But there's a lot of guys, like Ziggler, the Barretts of the world. Even Ryback is another one. You've got Sheamus. these guys can be pushed to get involved into the main event. There's no reason why they can't be. Diversity is better, to diversify, and really, the more the merrier that's in the mix. The more you have, surrounding that WWE World Title, people wanting and just have the hunger for it, creates more situations, creates more matches. And I think this is what's different from before in the WWE to what they're doing now. So I think the WWE really needs to, open the door for other people's that are on the roster to get involved into the WWE World Title and make it much more interesting. I mean, because this is right now it's a boring factor. Each week Rollins comes out with J&J Security or Kane, and then we see Triple H, and it's like this week after week after week. And to be honest with you, J&J Security gets more airtime than some of these mid-card guys. Now, to me, that doesn't make too much sense because, yeah, they're relevant. They're relevant for Seth Rollins and Seth Rollins only. But these other guys are the guys, that are competing night in and night out. And I think that's why they need to open up the span a bit and start doing more things with more of their talent that they have. Bringing up Owens and bringing up Neville is going to be a huge help. But they got to continue. They've got to pursue and move on even further. And I think once Samoa Joe comes up, and I think he will be a face when he eventually arrives in the WWE on Raw, I think this will open up the doors even a lot more. Because we are seeing, as far as the world title goes, the WWE World Title goes, we're going to see less and less of Randy Orton and John Cena. And whether or not Cena gets another shot at the WWE title still remains to be seen. I think he will get another shot. I don't know when it will be, but with Cena and Orton out of that mix, you got to bring other guys in. You can't just have a three-way circle going around and around and around. And the problem with the WWE right now is their pay-per-views and the opponents in the pay-per-views, they just run too long. They run into too many pay-per-views. You don't need a feud going on 4 pay-per-views in a row. And I think this is something that is happening way too often now. And it did happen somewhat a little bit in the past, but nothing like it does today. So anyway, those are my thoughts and those are my opinions. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy your day, and we'll see what happens. And we'll see you all next time. Peace out.